Together unscripted, baby, that's our way. In a life that's messy, we love and laugh each day.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Together Unscripted, Love, Laughs, and Leftovers. My name is Dan. This is my beautiful wife, Jen. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about, overcoming pain, a masculine approach to resilience. Now, years ago, we're talking 10, 12 years ago, I got pretty hurt to the point where I wasn't walking anymore. About a year and a half, almost 2 years, I was on a cane, crutches, everything else. And, it was one of those, I realized that there wasn't much help out there for me other than, suck it up, get through it. So,
No. Do you remember how the pain started?
Yeah, absolutely. We were in the middle of that new workout program we were doing.
Right. Gosh, that was brutal.
That was brutal. It was years ago. I'm not going to mention the name. I don't want to get sued. But it was a high impact, a lot of aerobic activity. And we were doing really well with it. And I just remember that one of the videos started with some deep stretching. And when I went to do the hip stretch, I felt immediate sharp pain in my hip. Yeah. And it was like a stabbing, it burned. I was just like, ooh, that's not cool. Tried to shake it loose, kept doing it. Continued with the plan, continued to do the stretches, and it would get progressively worse to the point where I had to stop the stretching, I had to stop the workout. And then over time, it went from painful with a limp to a serious limp to I couldn't walk without help.
It got bad. It got really quickly, too.
Yeah, within a few months.
It progressed pretty quickly.
I went from losing weight and getting in good shape to, holy shit, I can't walk anymore. Yeah. And I'm using crutches and a walker. And I just remember the pain was so bad that, like I said, I was just going backwards. I wasn't getting any better. I couldn't figure out what the hell the problem was. And it got to the point where my hip would give out. I'd be walking, even though I was limping, I'd be walking and all of a sudden, phew,
you were down.
I would go and I'd go down like a ton of bricks. And I couldn't understand what the hell was happening. It was pissing me off. But I do remember a couple times it happening on the stairs.
Yes.
And there was one time, I don't know, I went down the stairs, I went ass over tea kettle, got to the bottom.
And you were home by yourself.
I was by myself, and I just remember, I don't know if it was immediate, if I was out for 10 seconds, if I was out for 10 hours, I have no idea. I just remember shaking my head and being like, oh, that sucked. And it hurt, my head hurt, I had a lump on the side of my head that was extremely sensitive.
And you landed on the slate floor.
I landed on the slate floor, and it was one of those things that it got to the point where when you would leave for the day, you didn't trust me to use the stairs.
No, I had to really adjust our whole morning routine. I mean, I was getting 4 kids ready to get out the door for school and everything else, and then I had to make sure that you were up and showered and you were set and had everything that you needed for the day or for however long I was going to be gone. And you were on the main floor.
Yeah,
because at least, right? No, because I had to make sure that you had access to snacks, things were within reach, like you didn't need to reach for anything, and you could just kind of maneuver your way around that first floor because you have the kitchen and the bathroom and everything, but
yeah, because at first we had no idea if it was my back or my hip or what it was.
No.
And I was always in pain, so I would just set up ice packs on the floor and lay flat on my back and put my legs up on the couch, and I was on the ground.
Yeah, it's not even like you were sitting on the couch and
I couldn't. It hurt to sit. So if I had to sit, I was laying on the ground with an ice pack under my butt and my legs up because everything hurt. And I just remember that it was getting to the point where I was starting to hallucinate.
Yeah.
And I would hear things and see things, and it got so bad. I was nauseous all the time. The pain was so bad. I would throw up all the time. You'd make a dinner that we hadn't had, and I was so excited. I'd take 3 bites. I'd walk through the kitchen. I'd turn the radio up because I was going to the bathroom, and it was all coming out. And then I'd come back, and I wouldn't touch my plate again.
No.
The kids had no idea I was puking. You did because you knew.
Oh, I knew. Yeah.
As soon as I got up and I turned the radio up, it was so they couldn't hear me vomiting. But it was.
No, I just kept the conversation going at the table.
It was so bad.
And
I didn't want them to know or worry or anything else. But it it wasn't just debilitating physically, it was exhausting. Being in pain all the time is exhausting. Then now I'm
mentally and physically.
Right. And now I'm trying to think, all right, don't change how you act, don't change how you talk.
Right.
And it was tough to do because, you know, kids are kids and they do something and you're frustrated, but then
you were so spent
yeah.
to begin with from the pain. You
I would start to excuse myself because I knew I had nothing left.
No.
I'd be exhausted by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I had nothing. It was so bad. I mean, what were you thinking? What was going through your head, you know, watching me fall apart or basically fall over myself, fall down the stairs?
It was hard. I mean, because, you know, yes, I do remember now it's stemming from that workout routine that we started, but it got so progressively worse within a short period of time. And I mean, we were going to all sorts of doctors and specialists, and you were doing PT and everything, and nobody could help us determine what was causing the pain.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating. It was probably the first word that comes to mind is frustrating, because it just, we weren't getting any answers. And it wasn't getting better. It just was getting worse.
No, and
worse.
I think it got to the point where the doctors didn't believe me either, because they were sending me to the chiropractor, to PT, to spine surgeons, and they had no answers.
Nope.
So they started sending me to pain management, which is a fucking joke, because even
horrific.
They gave up on finding the source of the pain, so let's just mask it.
Yep.
Well, and then they one point send me to a psychologist to try to teach me how to work through pain because they thought it was in my head.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad. I was so insulted. I just sat there, and the entire time, all that's going through my head is fuck you. I was so upset. Like, I'm like, these assholes don't believe me. They can all kiss off. I was so mad. But then
I think I might have told one doctor to do just that.
I told one to stick it, and that's when we left. I'm just like, you know what? This pain is real. I'm hurt. I can't walk, and you're trying to convince me otherwise. You're not helping. This is a joke. I go, this practice is a joke. I remember I told them off, and
I got into it with the lady in the pain management office. I'm like, you're not helping. Like, you're just giving him drug after drug after drug. Like, you're not helping.
Yeah,
you're not fixing.
What was starting to freak me out was like, oh, put this patch on. And then the directions for putting the patch on my body told you don't touch it because it could kill you.
Right.
But I'm putting it on.
Yep.
And that's when you started to really read labels and read warnings and everything else. And I mean, we went to so many appointments where I barely remember getting there. I don't remember talking to the doctor, and I just know I had a new drug because the entire time I couldn't focus. I couldn't.
No.
It must have been 10 times when we met this lady till I finally remembered her name. I was in so much pain. It was so bad. But they'd give me pain meds that would make me hallucinate. I'm like, well, I hallucinate without them. Why the hell do I need pain meds? I'm hallucinating anyway. Like, screw you. Like,
no.
But the only thing I could say that the pain management did was it didn't make the pain go away. It just disconnected my head from my body.
Yep.
So I forgot I had pain, but I also forgot I was alive. I forgot what I was doing. I forgot my name.
You couldn't do anything.
I was a mess.
Like, you couldn't do the basic things when you were on any of those.
I couldn't. No, I couldn't drive anymore. I sure as hell couldn't drive if I was drugged up.
No.
I couldn't do anything. Like, it was one of those things I just, even think back to it now, it blows me away as how the medical system in the U.S. just fails people so badly. Like, I was in pain. I had a legit problem, and they all just kept writing it off. Like, here's another drug. Here's another drug. Oh, go talk to this guy because it's in your head.
Nope.
What the hell? Kiss my ass.
Nope. Not looking for the root cause. No.
Not whatsoever.
What would you say was your darkest moment going through that?
Oof. The worst part of it for me was looking at my kids look at me with pity. It broke me.
Yeah.
I was like, a 10-year-old feels sorry for me. This fucking sucks. And there was a time where, and I remember telling you this and you got upset, and I understand why, but because I didn't tell you exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. But I told you it would be the only reason I hadn't off myself was because of the 4 kids and you got upset. And it was like, hang on a minute, you didn't let me finish. Because the kids would not be better off without me. You would be. Because I was the problem. I was the problem in the house. I made everything difficult. So in my head, I'm like, she's young enough, she'd be fine without me. The kids wouldn't be though. So that was my logic. And I remember how upset you got. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me explain. But that was the hardest part for me was when my 10-year-old, who in his class project called me his hero, is now looking at me like I'm pitiful.
Yeah.
That
was hard.
That broke my heart.
No, that was really hard because the kids were still pretty young. We were going through all this, and all of our kids they're very empathetic. You know, and it was difficult because, you know, they felt sorry because you were in so much pain. You couldn't move. You couldn't do the basic of things that you would do, you know, just without thinking about it.
Right.
And we weren't getting any answers. It's not like we could have said to the kids,
this is the problem.
The
doctor
in
said
so much
this is the problem, we're going to fix it.
Because,
I had no idea.
and this is what we're going to do to fix it. Yeah. It was a year and a half. A year and a half
before
we started to get some answers.
You got the hip surgeon who saw the impingement, said I could shave it off.
Yep.
You could return. You'll be able to walk again, because that's what the impingement was. But it was just, it still kills me how long it took them to figure that out.
That was insane.
I went to
the
PT,
scans and
chiros,
specialists.
I think I had 6 or 7. We're sitting in 2. What the hell is it?
No, the MRIs.
6 or 7 MRIs, and they like, oh well, we found this impingement and this blown disc and this bad and this is swollen. So it could be a combination of things. I'm like, great, let's fix it. Oh, we can't. We don't know how.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Okay, great, awesome.
No. How did you find the strength to really push through day to day?
I don't think I ever really did. I just would tell myself, give yourself another day. One more day. Just give yourself another day. And there were days I'd given up on that specific day by 11 in the morning. I'm like, gotta try again tomorrow.
Right.
Because I had nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't eat because I threw up all the time. I was hallucinating. I had absolutely nothing for anybody. So I can't even say it was strength. It was just, give yourself another day. Try again tomorrow. Try again tomorrow. And it was, I wish I could say it was some Herculean effort and I did this great stuff and yay.
No,
I didn't. It was, you don't have any choices. You have no options. Try again tomorrow. That was really it. But I mean, how do you think society expects men to act when they're in physical and or emotional pain?
I don't think they do. I think it's suck it up and deal with it. I don't think there's any, no, I think society just expects men to just, suck it up and just deal with it. Work through it, forget about it. Like, just.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. There's not much out there other than figure it out. There's not. There's nothing there.
You're on an island.
You're by yourself, and most men don't have a friend they can call when they need help. They don't have a system. They don't have a team, so to speak, of guys that they can count on. Most guys are isolated. It's worse now than it's ever been because social media and everybody's just dicking on their phone. So that face-to-face interaction, building those relationships, getting those quote-unquote teammates that can pull you through things, nobody has that anymore.
No.
I mean, I could say at that time, I had nobody.
No.
I had nobody. I could tell you that, I had friends for a long time. They never called. They never checked on me. They knew what I was going through. Half of them thought I was faking it. The other half, I can't even tell you what they were thinking, but some thought I was faking it. Some thought it was in my head. So did I get people calling me and checking on me every other day? No. Did I have any? Every once in a while somebody, so how you been feeling? Horrible. And that was the entire conversation.
Yeah.
There was no support. There was no nothing. There was nothing.
They don't know what to do.
It was absolutely
It's like guys don't know if another guy comes to them and says, I'm having a problem. Unfortunately, I don't think most men know what to do or how to react. No. They do. They kind of just go, oh, dude, sorry.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
Right.
That sounds horrible. And that's where it stops.
And that's it. That's where it ends.
I mean, I think that's where it started, where I started being like, all right, we got to do something.
Something's got to change. Yeah.
Something's got to change. Guys need help. Men need to help other men. And that's, I think, the beginning of me being a masculinity advocate is like, all right, this half the population is men. How come we don't help each other? No. When there's every sister is helping sisters, in everything. oh, there's single mom groups, there's this group, there's this group, there's this group. We're all women just band together and help each other. There's nothing like that for guys.
No.
Guys just
no. And women are just, they're
exist.
more, I mean, I think we're just more, we're nurturing by nature. So yeah, there's tons of support groups and sisters helping sisters or women supporting single moms, whatever it might be. But no, I mean, I think there's a little bit of it maybe starting to happen for men now, but 10, 12 years ago when we were going through all this,
nothing.
No, it was non-existent.
Nothing at all.
What, I mean, then, even now, like, those expectations, how did that affect you, like, during your ordeal? And were there any times that you felt like the vulnerability was more masculine than stoicism?
At no point did I think that masculinity, you have to be stoic, because as soon as, most men know, as soon as you become vulnerable, you either get made fun of or it's used against you in the future, especially with women, especially with your partner. Women want a strong man. If the guy comes to them and he's like, I'm having a problem, and he's about to fall apart, she might listen in that moment, but it's going to come back up. That's why most men, what's the problem? Nothing, I'm good, I'll figure it out. Because at some point in their life, they told somebody about a problem and they got crapped on, they got made fun of, or even worse, it was used against them in some way. It was weaponized on them. So it's just like, screw you, I'm done talking.
Yep.
I'm done showing you the vulnerable side, because as soon as I did it, you stabbed me in the back, kiss my ass. And so guys just don't do that anymore. Guys,
I think they're gun shy.
It just doesn't, and I mean, what was the first part of the question? What,
like, society's expectations of, like, how men are supposed to handle an ordeal, whether it be pain, or be emotional.
Yeah, men are expected to deal with it, figure it out. But that's also part of a man's nature. I mean, men are by nature built to solve problems. I mean, that's, somebody comes up, they go into problem solving mode right away. I think that's why a lot of couples argue, is
we nurture, you problem solve.
Correct. Yep. And a woman will come and say, hey, I have a problem. They're not looking for a solution. They're just looking for an ear.
Sometimes we are. Sometimes we're not.
Sometimes. But that's why I started asking you, do you want an ear or do you want a solution?
Yeah.
Because some arguments came out of that, and I'm like, well, don't come to me with a problem if you don't want me to help you solve it. You're like, but I just wanted you to understand it first. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So now, if you come to me and it's not a bitch session, that's not what I mean, but if you come to me and it takes a few minutes and I'm just like, okay, do you want me to help you solve this problem or you just want me to listen?
Yeah. And
there's times where you're like, no, I just want you to listen because I already have a solution, but I want you to hear the problem first. Okay, cool. That's fine. But when it comes to guys are natural problem solvers. So when it comes to problems in your own life, you're expected to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we definitely have grown on that a lot within our communication. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that we figured it out either. We saw it somewhere, and I'm like, you know what, that's genius. And I started using it when I see that you were upset about something, and my natural reaction is, okay, great, I have 3 answers for you. It's okay, it happens sometimes, whatever. But it's like, do you want an ear? Do you want a solution? If you say solution, great, I have one. Do you want an ear? All right, it's going to kill me not to give you the solution, but I'll do my best to shut my mouth and just listen. So we do okay with that. But most guys, society expects to figure it out on your own. Like there was, I read a study, it was an article, and the article said that most men in the United States would do better with their mental health and their inner peace if they had 2 guys nights a week, hanging out with their buddies, 2 nights a week. And to me, that was innocuous. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Guys need guys. Masculinity needs masculinity to thrive. That makes complete sense to me.
No different than women need other women to help support and nurture and lean on. And it's no different for men.
Not at all. But then of course, the article is on the internet. So as soon as you go underneath, start reading out the comments were nasty. It was, tell me you're a man-child without being a man-child. Grow up. Losers. It was thousands upon thousands upon thousands of comments making fun of no man in particular. It was just an article.
Just guys want to be guys.
Guys want to be guys. Guys need to have that camaraderie. They need to be able to break balls and have fun and play pool and just be stupid. But even just from the article, people were crapping on that. So if a guy reads that article and goes, yeah, I agree with that, and he starts to read the comments, he'll never freaking talk.
Nope.
He'll never open his mouth because he knows the second he does, he's going to get made fun of.
And at no point is he going to reach out to any of his buddies and be like, "Hey, let's go shoot pool tonight," or "Let's go."
Yeah. I mean, it's I could say from experience, like, but a lot of it comes with life too, because when we had the 4 kids, 3 of them were in hockey. 90% of our socialization was through hockey.
Right.
So did I have a boys' night a week? No, we had hockey practice almost every day. And then Emily had stuff going on, and we were all over tarnation. So there was no time for that stuff. So my camaraderie with guys was at the hockey rink.
Right, it was.
Well, when that ended, where did all these guys? Some of those guys I thought were my best friends.
Yeah.
Haven't heard from them in years. They're timeline friends.
Yeah.
They disappeared. When the activity disappeared, so did they.
Yeah.
Even though I reached out over and over and over, when I realized that 5-6 times of calling you never called me back. All right. I wish you well. I love you. But I'm not wasting my time and energy on you anymore. But that's what happens is guys realize that, oh, he wasn't a real friend. Crap. So guys, as that happens, they start to clam up, and their circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller until their circle is just them.
Yeah.
And then something happens in life, and they don't know what to do.
What was something that you learned about like grit and perseverance through this whole thing?
Well, grit is grin and bear it and deal with it. I didn't have a choice, so I can't even say that I persevered. I say I survived. I just survived because it wasn't that I had this grand plan and I was pushing and kicking ass and calling people and saying, "Look at me, I'm doing this great thing." It was 11 o'clock in the morning. I give up today, but I'm waking up again tomorrow because my kids need me here. That was it. It wasn't. I can't even say it wasn't this great story that I'm going to be able to tell from a stage and this is how awesome I am. I survived, and I survived because I was supported by my wife. Nobody else. No. I can't name another single person at all.
No, it was.
I mean, we took help from people because I was disabled and didn't get disability for some reason. So we ate through our savings, and we needed help a little bit. And I had to accept help from people I know that didn't like me because they were obligated through you.
That was tough. Yeah.
That pissed me off. Like, great, I got to take help from you. You don't even talk to me. Go fuck yourself. Drove me crazy. I didn't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff, but I didn't have a choice. No. And so grit and perseverance. Did I have grit and perseverance? I can't say I did. I survived. I just survived. I think until
looking back at the whole thing,
until I found a doctor who found, he's like, you have a nodule on your hip. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get rid of it. He's like, I can't promise it's going to fix everything. But I was instantly able to walk again. So the nerve, it stopped the collapsing, which was great. And the pain went from like an 8 on a daily basis to like a 3 or a 4. I mean, I've been in pain ever since. I still got to sleep on one side, whatever, but I'm walking and I'm not hallucinating. So it's win-win there. I wish it was 0 pain, but it's not.
No, I know. No, just the fact that you were able to, I think you survived, we survived through it. It was it was an ordeal.
It was extremely.
It was an ordeal for sure. Yeah. So your pain ordeal is what ultimately led you to become a masculinity advocate. What advice do you have on how men can better support themselves and each other through an ordeal or through a crisis?
If you have nobody in your corner and the crisis hits, you're in trouble. You have to set up your team of men ahead of time. And it's not for a selfish thing. You've got to be able to let guys in your life know you're the 3 a.m. guy. They can rely on you. They can call you in an emergency. They can call for help. Hey, I got an idea. I got to bounce it off you. You have to be that for somebody else. You can't clam up, not talk to people, and expect that when you have an emergency that guys are just going to come running to help you. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It has to be well known that you're the go-to guy for certain people. And my advice would be the go-to guy for like 12 to 15 guys, and 6 or 8 of them will reciprocate. Not all of them, because not everybody's built that way.
No, you're never going to get 100%
try to get half of them. And if you got guys that you're the go-to guy for them, and they're using you, cut it. Yeah. I've had that happen. I've had that happen where I reach out, I help you with this, I help you with this, I help you with this. You disappear for 6 months and you call me when you need something. Correct. And I check on you all the time. I help you. You disappear for a year and then you call me when you need something. Yep. No. Like, come on, man. You can't even call me to see how I'm doing or just Christmas or my birthday, it went by. Yep. Nothing. You only call me when you want something. you only get a little bit of grace for that. I'm not gonna.
No.
I
think
you got to learn the difference between a friend calls you when they need you, but also reciprocates, and somebody who just uses you.
Yeah.
And that's, I think a lot of guys have happened is they were that guy for somebody, and that guy screwed them over. So they said, no more, I'm not doing this anymore. But now, because they're not going to do it for anybody, nobody's ever going to do it for them.
No.
And then they get in trouble and they're screwed. And they're by themselves around that island. So my advice is you have to let people know you're that reliable 3 a.m. guy that they can call whenever. And I don't mean money. I don't mean stuff like that. Just you're an ear. They have an emergency. You're going to go get them.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like if you got, everybody thinks that means money. It does not mean money. And if you have people calling you for money, they're the worst kind of friend you can have anyway. So no,
Definitely.
not at all.
But I think too, men need to know that they need to create that circle, and know that if something does come up, they have somebody to turn to. Because it's not.
Most guys don't.
No.
Every article I've read on the male loneliness, friendships in adult years from like 30 to 50, everything just shows men are becoming more isolated, less friends, less people to rely on. They don't go out as much. They just sit at home. It's just not healthy.
No.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, my dad played cards one night a week, and he had season tickets for the Whalers with his best friend. So he had at least 2 nights a week of just going doing his thing. My mom had her afternoons and her days, which she did her thing with her friends. So they had that. And when the 2 oldest were little, I played poker once a week, and that was my release. But again, I was 27, 28. I was young. Right. And things changed since then. Like then it started to, okay, crap. The kids are old enough to now have their own activities where I'm expected to. Okay, great. And some of their activities were every stinking day, so that it took away that camaraderie and then it made those false friendships I thought were permanent, and they weren't. So it happens.
No, and I think now it is encouraging to see the movement that you came across on TikTok, the men supporting men,
men
or dads,
helping men, men supporting men, men helping men, and that's something that you see it online, and it's guys are doing it so that more people will follow their page so that they can get attention and be quote unquote social media famous. I'm trying to take that and make it live and in person, so that men supporting men. Yeah, I'm gonna go on social media and tell a guy halfway around the world I got your back. Doesn't mean anything. The guy's not going to call me. Yeah, I followed you. You followed me. So what? Right. It's encouraging. Yes, it's encouraging to see it on social media. Yeah. It is starting. It's bringing more recognition to it. But it has to be live and in person.
You still we're human beings. You still need that in person contact, that camaraderie, that because it isn't. It's just not the same. It's strictly online.
No, not even close. No. And I'm still trying to wrap my brain, like, how do I take an internet movement and make it live and in person? Right. Coming up with some ideas. I don't want to say anything yet because I don't want to sound stupid that I haven't thought it all the way through. But it's something that you gotta have your pack of guys. You gotta have your team. If you don't have anybody, figure it out. I know that's an awful thing to say when we're talking about. But if you're looking for any kind of thing, go on to Facebook and find the group for your local town. Yep. And just say, hey, I'm looking for guys to play poker with once a week. You'll probably find 3 or 4 guys. Right. Start there. Do something like that. Start with people you work with. Hey, I'm not big on making huge friendships with people I work with because I've had the misfortune of getting laid off after 2 years at like 6 places. I mean, that's what biotech does, I guess.
I was just going to say, I think
so I don't try to get real close to people that I work with, because I've noticed over the years that work friendships are those timeline friends that once you don't work together, they disappear. And I thought at my last job that I got laid off from, I'm like, I got 2 or 3 that I'm really good friends with.
Crickets. One,
as soon as we got laid off, never heard from him again. And the other one, maybe once, and reached out half a dozen times, never again. Like, okay, and I know you just had a baby. I was calling to say congratulations. You couldn't even call me to tell me that your kid was born. I guess I didn't mean anything to you. Like, okay, cool. Good luck to you. Yeah. I'll go somewhere else for friendship and camaraderie. I don't need a specific person. I just need the right guy. Right. Everybody does. That's the thing. Every guy does.
And you've started that. You've really made waves with creating that circle. Like you easily have a few 3 a.m. friends.
I do. I have guys, like I guess one of my best friends is he wasn't healthy, and I knew he wasn't healthy.
Right.
I just started checking on him every day. How's it going? How's your knee feeling? What are you doing for weight loss? What did the doctor say? What have you been eating? What do you weigh in today? And in 18 months, he's lost 100-something pounds. And he credits me for it. That's nonsense. All I did was check on him. But he knew he has a guy he can call. And he does. He's called me. Hey, I got a question. Hey, what do you think of this? Hey. And I do it with him too. I'm like, hey, let me bounce an opinion off you. And then every once in a while, we send each other jokes and we get extremely raunchy. And then you accidentally read it. And you're like, what the hell is wrong with you two? We're just being guys. We're just guys being guys. That's the bond we're forming. I can't explain how it works. That's how it works.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious. But, I mean, some of the stuff we come up with, holy crap, I'm not repeating it now. But it's just, it's awful. But it's
Our
just.
kids do listen to the podcast.
I know. But it's that camaraderie that's what you need. So you got to build it with somebody. So get somebody you're on the same page with and just let them know, like, yeah, I don't want to just be your acquaintance. I'm going to be your brother. I'm here for it, man. I got your back. I'll kill for you.
Yeah.
You call me at 3 a.m., you're 2 states away, and somehow you got arrested. I'm showing up. I'm getting your dumb ass out. Let's go. But you're going to tell me exactly what freaking happened, and I'm going to break your balls the entire way home. I'm going to make fun of your dumb ass for getting arrested. So it's going to happen. But that's what most men don't have, and I think guys are just lost. Is how do I start that?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't have anybody. Well, I'm done. I don't have anybody. Well, you're not.
No, they just kind of go into like their shell.
Well,
and
you're sure as hell not going to find anybody sitting at home playing on the internet.
No.
You're just not. You've got to do something.
Yeah.
Find a local.
Get out there and start the movement.
Find a local pub that has a 9-ball tournament. Go play. Or you like setback? Find a place that does setback. You like darts? Go find a place that they have a dart league. You can make friends that way.
Right.
It starts with like the extracurricular activity.
Yeah, it starts with some sort of activity.
But you find your tribe that way.
Yes. Yeah.
You find your tribe that way.
No.
I mean, I made some of my best friends I could think of 2 or 3 of them right now that I made playing poker when my kids were little. I didn't know it at the time. I do now. Like I run into them now, and it's like, it's the big hugs and the still check on them every once in a while. One, he didn't even realize we were going. His girlfriend unfortunately passed, and we showed up at the funeral, and he broke down just seeing me walk in the room. He couldn't believe I was there. Like, dude, I'm here for you, dumbass. Like, do you not know?
Yeah.
Like, and it was just, and I think that little gesture got us closer. It just did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we traveled a couple states away for that.
Which was fine. I didn't mind.
No, it was totally fine. But
he couldn't believe that we were there. Like he was mind blown. And to me, that's minor. So what? It's 2 hours in the car and 10 gallons of gas. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and a stay in a hotel or
whatever.
It really wasn't.
It wasn't that big a deal.
No.
But I just wanted to know, like, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And he's reached out a couple times. So, I mean, is he somebody I talk to every day? No. But he's somebody that knows that, damn, Dan's a solid dude. He's here. He showed up. He showed up for me.
No, definitely. No, agreed. So, yeah. I mean, I think that whole ordeal, the pain and you not being able to walk and taking a year and a half to find out what was causing the pain, I think that definitely led us into like our current roles as health advocates. You know,
very much so.
I mean, it was just throughout this whole thing. I couldn't even tell you the number of doctors and specialists and tests and injections and prescriptions that they gave you to just mask.
Just the amount of money we had in our medicine cabinet. If I would have said, you know what, I'm a scumbag, I'm going to go sell all these pills. We probably had 40 or 50 grand worth of pills in our freaking medicine cabinet. That's why when the police did drop off your medications, I showed up with a bag and got rid of it all because I didn't want it in the house.
No, we didn't want it in the house, and
we had to hide it from the kids because God forbid they found it.
Or
like that kind of stuff.
We had friends. The kids had friends over too. It was everything was hidden.
We went from locking it up to being like, you know what, get it out of the damn house. I wasn't gonna flush it either because put that in the water system. You're gonna kill somebody. Not doing that.
No, but I remember too going to the pharmacy every week when we went to pain management. Okay, well that script isn't working, so here, try this, so take that off. So I'd go to the pharmacy.
What does it interact with? What does it do?
Like, okay, well, they had him stop taking this and they added this, but he's still on this. Does this interact with anything? And the pharmacist was so helpless. Was helpful, but it was. I think the whole ordeal with our broken health system and the doctors were just so much more focused on masking it and not
believing me.
And no and not helping the patient to find the root cause,
Well, even
to
when
fix the root cause.
Yeah, but when we went to pain management and they kept pushing opioids, and I'm like, listen, I'm not taking an opioid. I do not want to get addicted to heroin. I'm not taking an opioid. Would it be possible to get my med card?
Right. Oh my
And
gosh,
then he goes, oh, and so you're coming here just so to get drugs?
Did you hear your answer? Did you
I
not
told
listen?
you I don't want opioids because I'm afraid they'll kill me, and maybe get a marijuana card, which at the very least will lessen the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And you're accusing me of coming here for drugs. If I was coming here for drugs, I'd take the opioids, you jackass. What the hell's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not taking the opioids. I don't want to hallucinate.
Right.
Like,
I don't want that shit in my
it
system.
blew me away. That accusation, that was, I remember looking at him and like, yeah, I'm never coming here again.
No.
And that was it. We never went back.
No.
Like, forget it. And I'm sure he believes it because I didn't get the med card, but no, I'm like, dude, you just prescribed me 3 different types of opioids the last 3 times I was here, and the street value of these things is like $5 grand a bottle, and you're accusing me of if I wanted marijuana so bad, I would sell what you gave me and go buy it. What the hell's wrong with you? I was blown away at how insulting
It was. It was insulting.
and it just shows how little they know.
Mm-hmm.
They're guessing just like everybody else. When
Yeah.
people say, oh, you're just guessing. So is the doctor. The hell are you talking about?
Hell
That's
yeah.
all they're doing.
It's practice.
They're guessing. They're practicing. They're just practicing.
No, but I think it did because it, now as health advocates, we can help our clients with, okay, what you eat and what you consume is going to either help or hurt. So it's
When you look at somebody's diet, you realize that they're eating all this stuff that's extremely inflammatory, and they're like, well, I have pain here and this hurts and da da da. Well, have you changed? The last time you went to the doctor, they ask you what you eat? No. Okay, well, I can tell you these 5 things that are the staple of your diet are causing, I'm not going to say they cause all the problems, but they're not helping.
No.
They're probably exacerbating the problem you already have.
Correct.
But try eliminating those first. See how you do. I mean, we've had it where we work with somebody, they start like, oh my God, I've never felt this good. Oh, my neck doesn't hurt anymore. Oh, I don't get those headaches anymore. I don't get that after lunch brain fog anymore. Like, I know. I told you that was going to happen. Like, I know. That's how food works. And unfortunately, doctors they don't take a single nutrition class. Not even a single class. Not even a single lecture.
No.
There's no nutrition advice whatsoever. It's this is the problem, this is the prescription. This is the problem, this is the prescription. And we saw that firsthand they just came in and said, oh, what's the problem? Here's a drug, go away. Come back in 2 weeks, let us know how it works. Oh, that didn't work? Here's a different drug, come back in 2 weeks. I mean,
That's exactly what we went through.
They had me on things that had nothing to do with pain. They were just, like, one was a diabetes drug, but it was a diabetes drug that lessened the nerves.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, this will lessen your pain. This is what we give people who have diabetes, even though you don't have diabetes, but it should lower the nerve pain. Okay. Didn't work.
No, it made you sick.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that made me throw up.
Really?
Everything made me freaking throw up back then. So it was so bad. I'm surprised, that when one doctor went to look down my esophagus, they didn't accuse me of being bulimic or something, because I would vomit almost every single day. It was so bad. Yeah. But, I mean, just to wrap up, guys gotta know that there is somebody out there in their corner, whether it's one guy, half a dozen guys. Most men don't have it. And unfortunately, when they don't have it, they don't realize it's something they have to actively pursue.
Correct.
You
can't stay in that shell
Yep.
in hiding in the corner.
Right.
You have to,
When
actively.
you have some kind of problem, you need somebody in your corner. I was very fortunate that at the time I didn't have any 3 a.m. friends, but I had you. And if it wasn't for you, I would not have made it. I wouldn't have. I would have taken a long walk up a short pier, and that would have been it. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. But a lot of guys don't have that either. They are by themselves.
Yeah.
They have to realize it's an active pursuit. I have to find those people. Why? Not in a selfish way either. I have to find those people to let them know I'm that guy.
Yeah. Yes.
And then we'll figure out if they're that guy for me. And that's the only thing I can say to guys is actively find guys that you can be their 3 a.m. friend.
Yes.
You have to look for it. It's not something you're going to find sitting on your couch. It's not something you're going to find on Facebook. You have to physically maybe rekindle an old friendship. Call your family. Let them know you're that reliable guy.
Right.
And if you haven't been that reliable guy in your past, you better damn well become him. Because when people realize that you're a flake, you're done. They're they're not coming back for you. So actively find those guys, build that team, build that camaraderie, and make sure that they know that you're the 3 a.m. friend. And over time, you're going to get 3 or 4 guys that are there for you, so that when the shit does hit the fan, you're not alone.
Correct. No, I think it's so needed for men in this society, because they're just getting beat down, expected to do everything, and no, they need that. They need that camaraderie. They need that friendship. They need that. They need to know that they do have at least a couple of those reliable friends they can lean on. Yeah,
I absolutely agree. And guys, if you are looking for that 3 a.m. friend, you're not quite sure where to go, please look me up on legendaryalphas.com. We'll have the link. We'll have the link below. And if there's ever anything, you have any ideas, you're looking to build that team, please, by all means, reach out. We'll have a conversation. And I'd love to help you be able to get there. And if you can't find your first one, I'll be your first one. I promise you. But that is today's episode of Together Unscripted. Love, laughs, and leftovers. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.
Have a great one.